Why do we succumb to the very thing that we are struggling to avoid the most? Have you ever gone food shopping and thought, I'm not going down the cookie aisle or the bakery section, and found that that was the only thing you were focusing on? And then finally you succumb. You put a box in your cart because you tell yourself it's for the kids, or maybe some guests might pop over. But then you think, well, maybe I should try one because what if they aren't that good? Well, you can see how the rest of this story ends. Okay, I am going to admit that this has definitely been me 100%. That has happened in the past until I made this one important mindset shift. And in today's video, I am going to explain to you why it is that we seem to continue engage in counterproductive behaviors that are in direct opposition of the outcomes that we really want. And what can you do about it? Now, before I elaborate on how you can shift your mindset so that more of your behaviors support your goals, it might be helpful to appreciate why it is that we keep falling into the same traps. Ironic rebound. This is the phenomenon that is named by Harvard psychologist Daniel Wegner, which describes how the more you try to suppress a thought, the stronger the impulse to think about it becomes. And this could explain why the number one predictor of weight gain over a lifetime is having been on a diet. Are you kidding? You could be thinking. I mean, why even bother? But hold on, the solution to this really could be easier and more fun than you imagine. Here are my top 3 strategies. Number 1, give up dieting. And more importantly, the food labeling that frequently goes along with the diet mentality. Now imagine for a moment if you not only gave yourself permission to eat whatever you wanted once in a while, but also actually instructed yourself like you must do it. This is exactly what I am suggesting. It's a little bit like a reverse psychology, and you could be surprised how this exercise might actually shift your view of the food and eating. Because when you stop labeling foods as legal or illegal, guess what? It takes a lot of the excitement out of it. Imagine for a moment if Romeo and Juliet were now in arranged marriage instead of forbidden love. Now they're forced to be together. And that excitement of that forbidden fruit is completely gone. But I have to say that the story still might end quite tragically, but you get the picture. Now, imagine your relationship with previously labeled forbidden foods and how it would change if you stopped that self-defeating language of, well, I can't have that, or I have to eat this. And instead of saying, you know what, I blew it, and replace that conversation in your head with, oh my goodness, this was fantastic, Bonnie. You just boosted your metabolism and you are set to go for the week. Good for you. That was just awesome. Sounds crazy, but I am telling you, this technique actually works. Now, number 2 on the list is embrace self-compassion. That means no more guilt. You can't punish yourself to be thin or anything else for that matter. It backfires because guilt makes you feel bad, hello, and it releases stress hormones. And guess what? And then in response to this, your body, which is always kind of wanting to crave this equilibrium, it wants you to feel better fast, triggering you to engage in the same behavior that made you feel bad to begin with. And this, to me, definitely explains how one chip results in crumbs at the bottom of a bag, which we've all been. So instead, speak to yourself like you might a good friend, with a little bit of distance, understanding, and say, you know what, Bonnie, or whatever your name is, what is it that you really need in the moment? If hunger isn't the answer, then guess what? Food is not going to solve it. Maybe what you really need is to take a walk, connect with a friend, or a hug, whatever is going on with you in the moment. But taking that meaningful pause to see what's going on inside could make all the difference. Now, finally, number 3 on the list, and really critical, is focusing on what you do need to do in order to support your goals, and rather than trying to not think about the stuff you shouldn't be doing. And so number 1, of course, I would talk about diet and trying to make sure that every meal has some combination of protein, vegetables, and healthy fat. The suggestion is around 30 to 50 grams to really keep you satiated and full until the next meal. And definitely trying to get in some physical activity. It doesn't have to be organized exercise, although that is fantastic as well. And also thinking about a quality sleep and ways to de-stress. And do not forget your social connections, because even during COVID, they definitely have connected the fact that because we were so isolated and people did not get the same, pleasure from connecting with people, that they went to the cabinet, definitely did that a couple of days, and ate more food in order to fill that up. So finally, if you are frustrated by you seem to be doing the same pattern over and over again, please take a moment to consider this meaningful, mindful shift and how you might be looking at things differently that could really help propel you to where you want to go. If you have found this video helpful, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share, and I would love to hear your comments below about how you might use any of these suggestions. And if you would like to know what a personal plan might look like for you, I would love to chat with you, and there is a link in the description below to book a no-cost call.